FBI orders White House officials to surrender phones after internal leak. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. What's going on? What are we doing?
Exclusive CNN reporting tonight on the investigation into leaks about security shortcomings of the new Air Force One. Last week, you'll remember, the president flew the old plane instead of the new one when he left the NATO summit. The White House claims it was so that U.S. service members could tour the new one. The New York Times said it was because the Qatari gifted plane lacked key defense systems, and the president was incensed by that reporting. Now we've learned some government officials have been asked to turn over their phones at the White House as part of a leak probe. CNN's Evan Perez joins us now with more. Evan, what more have you learned about this White House probe?
Yeah, this was an extraordinary scene at the White House last Friday where Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, essentially helped orchestrate what was hours-long. Numbers of people from the White House, people who may have known about the president's trip, were brought in. Their devices were taken from them in some cases, and they were being questioned by FBI agents because of this leak hunt. The FBI, of course, is...
I don't know if you just heard that, but we're having a crazy thunderstorm over here in Seattle right now. I know if you're in the East Coast, Midwest, or in fact anywhere other than the Pacific Northwest, thunderstorms are relatively normal, but we actually almost never get them over here. Something you get maybe like 1 or 2 a year, maybe. Big thunderstorm over Seattle right now, real rumbly.
Is trying to figure out who in the government could have possibly leaked this information to the media. And the president, as you pointed out, John, is very much obsessed with this. And that, again, took place at the White House. We have a statement from the White House about this unusual scene. They said leaks that jeopardize the safety of the president, his staff, and a traveling press pool are dangerous and a threat to national security. The White House takes...
yeah, the Qatari jet that was gifted to the president that's been converted into the new Air Force One is has obvious security problems because it's actually like an issue for the nuclear doomsday plane of the president and like supposedly one of the most secure vehicles on Earth to have been gifted by a petrostate dictatorship that is at best mildly antagonistic to our foreign interests. So instead of fixing the problems, they're just cracking down on the leaks. Classic.
These leaks seriously and would do everything legally to ensure the individual or individuals are caught, and it does not happen again. That's, of course, from the White House this evening.
And Evan, we know the president was furious about this reporting, the disclosures. Is it easy enough to just connect the dots here? That's why the chief of staff and the FBI director are involved in this?
Right. No, it's not going to be very easy. And keep in mind, I mean, that's the reason why they issued those subpoenas to the New York Times reporters last week, because they were the president is very much focused on trying to figure out who could have leaked this information. It's a very unusual set of circumstances, again, because, you know, obviously the president is always mad at the press, but in this case, he took it very personally, the fact that he had to fly back.
It's a little bit of unexpected but very appreciated candor from CNN right there. Well, yeah, I mean, the president's like always mad at the press, but you know.
On the old aircraft and not the new one that he was so proud of, John.
And the reporting by you and your colleagues on this has the FBI director not only involved, but going to the White House and setting up shop for a while. How unusual is this?
Oh my God, that is not done, right? First of all, the FBI director and the chief of staff of the White House would never...
I just got here what exactly got leaked. The new Qatari gifted plane has like an Emirati worm tongue figure that hides in the walls and pops out whenever Trump's sleeping in the bed. We don't know the exact details of the leak, only that like it's obviously comically insecure to use a foreign gifted plane as Air Force One. But, you know, like, who cares? Whatever. It's not like, yeah, it's not like this country has any secrets worth protecting anymore, I suppose. They placed a demon in the walls. I think they call it a djinn over there. I wonder who could have leaked it. Eric Trump giving a tour of Air Force One is not the same as leaking information on security. Wait, is this the video where you can see the quote-unquote bookcase in the background and the books are like placeholders that literally have on the spine of the text like art book?
Come on. Good TV. We love the Palm Beach Rose. Welcome to Trump Force One. A little strange I'm watching my wife on TV. I'll show you the plane. Beautiful sitting rooms, bedrooms, forward cabin.
Everyone wants to be an influencer.
where the magic happens, up in the cockpit. This plane has been very lucky for us. We've done a lot of campaigns. It's done more stops in every city across America over 3 campaign cycles, and served as the billboard for so many of those famous rallies that you saw. And there's probably no plane in the world that's more fitting for.
Do you consider yourself an influencer? Me? Myself? Yeah, obviously. But I'm not, like, the son of the President of the United States.
This airport, now obviously President Donald J. Trump International Airport, but you know, if you fly in and out of Palm Beach, you see Trump Force One virtually every time. And we've got one other thing that's fun. Right on the dashboard.
Why does it look like he slept in his clothes? Because they all dressed like shit.
We've got the little bobblehead, and he's been incredibly lucky for the family in this plane for a very long time.
Hey Vosh, jinn are just dudes. Demons are ifrit. Wait, really? I thought a jinn was like their demon. Do the Muslims have a demon that's not a jinn? Wait, are jinns even a Muslim thing, or is that like a pre-Islamic Arabic thing? Jinn equals genie? Yeah, I know, but does genie mean demon? It's complicated? Okay. Is it like the Old Testament, where if you get far enough into the roots of Christianity, they're like, oh, there are other gods? So like maybe in the maybe there's like some Islamic texts where it's like, yeah, watch out for the duplicitous jinn or whatever, but then it's like canonically that's not real. You know what I mean? Esoterica hour? I mean, there was a genie in Aladdin, and they were Muslim, right? They were Muslim in Aladdin, because it was the soul. Wait, were they? They said Allah. I guess Allah just means God in Arabic. I guess it could be pre. Well, no. What did they believe in? What did they believe in pre-Islamic Arabia? What were they believing in? The non-Christians and Jews. What was the pagan religion before Islam in that region? They were pagans? I know, but like what pagans? Like you have Norse gods, Greek gods. Like what was the like general Arabic or Persian Ali Baba and the 40 religions? Just a random mix of bullshit? Yeah, that tracks. Whatever. Sumerian history. I know like nothing about this. It could be cool, you know? It doesn't have a name besides like Arabic polytheism. There's probably some gold to be mined there, you know? I'm tired of seeing the Norse gods done over and over. Isn't it kind of fucked up how much attention we pay to the Norse pantheon when the Norse were literally like idiot barbarians? Like literally, they barely had a civilization. They were just fucking seafaring assholes who just raped people. They weren't like the Romans or the Greeks, where there's like this big wellspring of technological and social development from them. They didn't fucking do agriculture. They were just like, oh, yeah, they just fucking were dicks. They spread very wide and were scary. They were allegedly pretty scary. Anyway, apparently the New York Times is filing a motion to squash some of the subpoenas. The DOJ is serving on journalists who reported on these security concerns. We don't even know the security concerns, so like fucking who knows, right? Who the fuck knows, man? 30-minute video on the subject you'll probably also want to watch in your spare time. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. We did do agriculture. Yeah. Come on. The Norse are like laughably underdeveloped compared to their contemporaries. They were not interested in. They were like fucking ISIS. Okay, they weren't like ISIS. They were halfway between being not ISIS and being ISIS. They were halfway to being ISIS. They were pretty bad, like genuinely. They were not interested in like development. They were just cold pirates. Didn't Hitler tell Himmler to stop digging through Germanic ruins because that shit was too embarrassing? Yeah, it's one of the reasons Hitler was like really like kind of a weird suck up to Mussolini, because Mussolini had the ancient lineage of the Romans to pull from, which is of course like really robust. But then the Germanic ruins were like 400 years ago, everyone was eating dirt cakes or whatever. Like Germany 400 years before Hitler was just like, I don't know, lederhosen and blood sausage or what. I don't know what the fuck they were doing over there. Totally different. They were gay? Well, sure, but like the Romans were too. Everyone was gay back then.